start over. You know what I'm saying? We'll get it going a little early. I guess we late. It's CP time. Shit, take off my shade. Got a little bit of that new Wiz Khalifa playing. I'll let that rock. Working till my hands get calluses. Been a player, I established it. Whips be the fastest, chicks be the baddest. Yeah. My cush above average. Legendary status in my crib like a palace. I know why they mad. Cause your bitch laying in my bed. Still got the weed smell in her hair. Coming home later, nigga getting cares. Make a whole pound disappear. Come to money trying to get a dog. If it's for the gang, I'ma get involved. Look at me different now. Roll some weed and put your niggas on. You ain't about to pay for what you winning for. What up, too? Waiting on DJ Don P. See what you out there doing. Yeah. Trying to bring on a guest. Look like that wasn't happening just yet. I'm trying to have some fun tonight, though. You understand me? What up, Mr. Solo Dolo? Yeah. This shit here rocking. If y'all don't know, it's that new Wiz Khalifa. That shit is fucking player. As soon as I get DJ Don P on, I'll make sure he get some copies out of that. That's my DJ. Yeah. Live from the Yo. That does just rock, man. I can listen to this live all night. Rolling Papers 2, name of the album. Y'all can pull up on your Spotify, Pandora. I do it on Tidal. Yeah. All the time. Ain't my life. Romantics that are hopeless. We can make arrangements though. When I was dolo. Yeah. Don't talk to me about your previous. You know I'm that time too. Penthouse jumping from the front to back room. Girls going wild, showing off new tattoos. My night runs into morning. All the time. I promise we're gonna get started in a minute. Don P had to take care of some business. He on the way though. If I got to, I'll go solo. We'll just have some fun like that too. But you know what I'm saying? It ain't gonna be the same plain talk without DJ Don P. aka Troll Osteen, aka Petty White, aka Petty Pendergrass. That's my dog.
I got a serious question. Do you like sex? If you think it yes, then I'm trying to test you. Say Uncle Leave it the best, but I got money to get. I gotta hop on the jet. Probably don't call him a text. Hop in my car and get wet. I'm getting all of my checks. I'm winning all of my bets. No, I ain't letting you down, baby. I'm giving 100%. My night runs into morning.
All the time.
And through my phone, I'm scrolling. Dang my life. Off the drink, it's hard to focus. Seems like I'm always chosen by romantics that are hopeless. We can make arrangements, and if you're down, who knows? I might just do you like beloved, or make you mine, number one.
I can't keep my mind off you.
I can't keep my mind off you. I can't keep my mind off you. My night runs into morning all the time. And through my phone I'm scrolling. Dang my life.
Yeah.
The drink is hard to fold.
I told y'all.
Seems like I'm always chosen by romantics that are hopeless. We can make arrangements, and if you're down,
Who knows?
I might just do you like beloved.
Yeah.
Or make you mine, no.
Hey,
Without further ado,
man, I had to.
almost perfect
You
time.
called me out last time.
Huh?
Not having the music together. You know what I'm saying?
Hey man, I don't want to hear nothing about last time, man. What's gonna happen this time? I didn't pull it on. I just put on the new Wiz Khalifa just for the hell of it. You know,
I heard you doing something special over there.
Yeah, man. I need to get that in my roster, so I'll be looking for that link.
Yeah, I thought you was gonna show people like the real reason why I started DJing. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know what was gonna happen.
I don't know the real reason you started DJing. Why don't you tell them?
I thought you was gonna show them.
Nah, I wasn't for to show them nothing, man. All I was doing was vibing out, man. I'm trying to get to this episode 7, lucky number 7. You know what I'm saying?
Right. You know, I had to give it up for my first job.
Okay. What up, Nick? What's going on? Hey, man, Pepper's Creations.
Hey, we got some
shirt on.
Coming right now, man.
I got my shirt on. I got my cup. You understand me? Can't go wrong.
In my cup.
Yes, sir.
My cup.
And my cup. What up, Nick? We got us a couple more viewers this time. It's gonna grow. It's gonna grow.
Oh, for sure.
Well, we gotta get this episode going, man, and see what we got some topics submitted. We got to choose from tonight. Boy, say you need ID to buy your groceries.
Huh?
That's somebody that ain't never been to the grocery store in his life. Hey, I'm gonna tell you the truth. The sad part is we hoping for him to be impeached. Honestly, that's the worst thing that could happen. You don't want to impeach him. Just got to get to this voters booth in November. That's step 1.
Oh my. We must.
Cause that might pick. We haven't picked topics yet tonight. You can throw one up on the board. We're gonna pick from from the crowd tonight. So throw one up on the board. We trying to make sure this thing interactive. You know, I got a lot of thoughts. I know DJ Don P got a lot of thoughts, but you know what I'm saying. We do want to know what y'all thinking too. What will make the show better? We'll throw something out there. It's user generated, interactive.
Here we go.
You break. Okay, he said, here we go. All right.
Urban Nazi.
He put us on the clock. Your feed not picking up though, P. Your feed not picking up and keep bouncing in and out. I say your feed bouncing in and out.
I'm about to.
Okay. That's cool.
Uh-oh. Okay.
Is dating outside your race against the pro-black cause. Appreciate that, Marcus. That one gonna be is white. I'm black.
How's it picking up now?
You sound, I can hear you now. That sound like DJ Don P in the building.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, I got that down for you, Marcus. We're gonna see if that will come up in the conversation tonight. I don't have a lot of expertise in the area, honestly. So
In what
it's gonna
area
be fun
is
for me.
that?
Marcus asks, is dating outside your race against the pro-black cause? Yes or no?
Oh, let's
as a potential conversation for tonight.
I really want to touch that.
Okay, well then, Marcus, you made the show. I hope we'll lead off with that one. If DJ Don P sign off on it, that means it's worth talking about. So we'll lead the show with that. Blake Griffin child support. My goodness.
Huh?
Oh, you ain't heard? Oh, cha-ching. I see. You ain't heard. Cha-ching. That's what it sounds like. I ain't got no expertise in that area either.
Hey.
By the way, BTW.
How he used to do it? Either.
No, at all. I'll let you, boy. Yeah.
Hey, you know what? Man,
What's the deal?
I'm tripping again, huh?
Yep.
We about to started, huh?
Huh?
We ready, huh?
I'm ready.
You stay ready. Guess who
ain't ready? I got my shirt. You know what I'm saying? Plain talk propaganda. Got my watch face popping off. You know what I'm saying? And I got my Peppers Creations cup. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna have to turn to plain talk propaganda too. We gonna make a way out of no way. I'm gonna tell you that much, DJ.
Let me get ready. Okay.
Yeah, we gonna make a way out of no. You gonna stop stripping on my show without no money coming in.
Boy, if you do anything for some ratings. You know what I'm talking about?
We love ratings. Hey, it'll get you to the White House. You get enough
to the White House, which is the right house.
To the right house. You understand me? You ready to get this thing started?
We're gonna see how people like this right here. You know, we're trying to find a little something. Plain Talk Propaganda.
Uh-huh.
Episode 7.
Episode 7. I'm ready when you are.
We're gonna do a little bit like this. Tell them.
Boulevard, huh? Yep. Hey. What's the deal?
What's the deal, good people? Plain Talk Propaganda, episode 7 here.
Episode 7. You know, a little bit we casually late CP time. You understand what I'm saying?
Blame it
But
all on Don P because my other homeboy came in time. The Troll Osteen left yesterday, but Troll Embiid is here.
Troll Embiid.
Troll Embiid is here.
Hey, he's a funny guy too. He's
Love
a funny
him,
guy. Hey man, they call me the Commander-in-Chief, leader of the United States Chase Force, and we're gonna go out here and get it, man. We endorsed by Trump. You can boo me, you can sue me. Just hear what I'm saying. Let's do it, man. Hey, different format.
Yes, sir. Talk to me. What we got?
The question is dating outside of my race against the pro-black cause? Yes or no? Don P. Shoot.
Well, absolutely not.
Okay, tell me why.
Because everybody ain't finna be pro-black. Just being honest. You can not finna make no excuses for Dak Prescott or anything that man said. But what I have come to understand, you don't want everybody in your cause, man. Because the same people fighting, the people you think fighting with you might be fighting. The other thing is, love is love at nowadays. For me, I mean, I've never dated outside of my race, so I really don't know anything else but to be with a beautiful black woman. Because they are beautiful to me. Inside, you know, even with flaws. She got flaws too. Everybody want to say she angry, she nag. Man, half the time she nagging is because you ain't doing what you're supposed to be doing. Half the time.
Man, stop. There you go telling the truth on this propaganda show. See? And that's just plain truth. That's just plain truth. I didn't mean to cut you off, but I had to speak on that.
The man complaining about child support that she filed on him when he could have filed on himself.
He could have filed on himself. I've counseled friends from that point of view, and again, I don't have child support problems in my life. I can tell you this. I just said that live on the internet. Somebody out there hiding one of them wild drunk nights. You better keep it hidden, damn it. But with that being said, you know, we're gonna come back to child support too. I'm gonna say it like this. I agree with you because I've never dated outside my race either. I really don't have the right to say so. I do agree that love is love. I mean, I think, you know, in 2018, especially in this country, we've given a I want to say a neutral face to love. Love, you know, love is love. So some of the things that have happened over the last, let's just say 5 to 6 years in this country, have pushed those boundaries. Remind me, I got a side note on that statement too. But what I'm gonna say is this: I would try dating a white woman. Truth of the matter is, white women see me and they run the other way. I apparently have one of those angry faces, those mean faces, and if she ain't in the mood for a grudge fuck, I guess I ain't the one she want to meet. But I don't know. I don't think that who I date should have anything to do with what cause that I'm passionate about.
And also, it's like when we say pro-black, what are we really meaning? You know, like what is the topic at hand? What are we fighting for? What are we trying? You know, for equality,
right?
You know, because let's be honest. I'm all for if somebody of the other race is there to help you, because then you got another person in your household to hopefully open your mind up to why things are the way from their perspective. You know,
yeah.
I get the whole crying tears and pointing the finger at the same time after you done caused a situation. You know, when you calling the cops on folks barbecuing. You know, trolling B, what you talking about? Man, and kids selling water and calling the cops on people who live there to use the pool, like, and then make it seem as if there's a real issue. Like I to me, like you said last episode, they were stupid kids. Now they fucked up adults.
Yeah,
That's just
I
all
mean,
that down. But as far as like a real pro-black, what does that mean? You and I have what pro-black means to be in Texas, but let's go. Do we go back to the motherland and get the real definition of pro-black, or do we stay here and develop one based off what we've learned from this country that we're in?
well, I'll be honest with you. I don't see, at least, well, I've never been to the motherland either, so I may be speaking out
Right.
of turn. But I don't think that pro-black is an issue in Africa. Pro-black is an issue here because of I appreciate that comment, Marcus. Some of the things, the black economics, the family, the wealth building, the enterprise, the disenfranchisement that occurs in this country because of something that was systemic. This country was built on the back of black people. Our ancestors, and many others that we know. And the truth of the matter is, those people weren't paid properly for their contribution. And so that has turned into a situation where today, when we have a chance to speak out on a microphone, to have a show, I think that when you say pro-black, I don't know that it can be put into a specific box. But
Right.
what I will say is this: just back to the original conversation, or the original topic. I don't expect you to feel like you have a right to question my blackness because I'm with a white woman or an Asian woman or a Hispanic woman, because I'm not going to question your blackness because you drive a Honda, or
Right.
you like salt, or you know what I mean, or you don't season your food, whatever the case may be. The fact of the matter is, I think that the two things are totally separate from each other. I will say that yes, there is a potential, and there are people who do. I think that I won't say that they forget where they come from. I will say they change based on who they're dating. But with that being said, that happens with people that date in the same race. There are people, we've all known them, man, she was cool until she started messing with him. Or man, I don't hear from that boy no more since he started messing with her. And it had nothing to do with race. I just think that you're gonna be who you are, no matter who you're with. But I think that another person that makes a conclusion about that because of who you're with is probably looking through at least, at the very least, some blinders. The things they put on the horses when they run.
Oh, yeah.
They kind of got that. They can't see the peripheral. And so I think that the question is a great question. And as a person, again, who hasn't dated outside my race, I can't say if it's right or wrong, but I don't know that the two are related as far as what you when we say the pro-black cause, I'm going to take it as he means just love, appreciation, dedication to all things black, the black experience,
Right.
overall. And so in that particular case, I would say no. Dating a person in that shouldn't. But again, I think it's on the individual because people change for a whole lot of reasons.
They really do. And man, you can learn a lot about yourself from anybody. So
Yes, sir.
even in love or in lust, however you want to look at it, like the more educated, more adult in me is like, you can do anything when you're an adult. You can love who you want to love. And then the more childish devil's advocate in me is like, well, if you date outside your race, you feel like a race is being a way against you, then you just use that as your get back.
Right.
Get back. Wrong. Okay, I'm gonna date women in your race, and then I'm gonna do what I do.
I'm gonna
because
do what I do.
have that mentality.
As the leader of the United States Chase Force, I approve that message. Um, that's just real speak. I mean, at the end of the day, um, what
Like,
I will say,
go
what I
ahead.
will say, what I will say is this: um, the pro-black cause,
Mm-hmm.
I think, is really also a narrow view.
I think it just needs we need the definition of that.
Well, that's why I say I think it's a narrow view. I think in general, to say pro-black cause means that, at least when I hear it, means that it's a con everything else cause. Con being the opposite of pro. And so when I say it's a narrow view from that point, I think that we are to a point now where we don't have to push a pro-black cause. We just need to push, a pro-humanity cause. People should be able to treat people um, with respect. People should be able to listen to and hear our other people's views. I mean, I'll be honest with you. We have to listen to some. We've had to listen to some bullshit views for a long time. So
Yes,
I don't think it's gonna hurt us too much now to hear a few more, if that means that we get the same opportunity to put our views out. And you know what? Some of us have some bullshit views.
you're right. Now, what I will say, like Mark is making good points about the gems he's dropping about family, wealth building, you
Right.
know, um, and I'm loving all of that. Now, to your point, when you said pro-black is con everything else, I think
Well, I'm not saying that it is. I'm just saying
no,
that it give that implication, right,
yeah,
to others.
I know like the views. It seems like we have been the only people to be respectful of everybody here lately because with the climate of everything that's going on, we are expected to turn the other cheek. We are expected to, rise above, stand up, don't do nothing, don't react. And to me, and I know I get crucified for this, but hey, I'm
They
not.
got to come for me to get to you. Say what you got to say.
I can stand on my own.
Yeah,
A lot of that to me seems like it comes from our religion.
I
Our
feel
religion, and they use religion to control people back in the day anyway.
they still do today.
So it's like when we look at our religion is always taught us to be the better person. But the definition of a better person is when somebody do something to you, you really not supposed to do it back because they like Gandhi
Right,
said, "I the whole world be blind." You know what I'm saying?
right,
But how many? It's not that you hit me in my right eye; you hit me in both my eyes,
right.
and now I'm just not supposed to do nothing. Like I don't get that. You really not supposed to do it back. So it's like the pro-black to me is really like when I look at the climate of everything we got going on now, pro-black to me means we trying to catch up to everybody else still because they don't understand we are human.
Right.
We're not going outside hoping somebody in our community or any other community gets shot. Like today, I'm looking at news today. Dude done knocked off the doctor that he been
George
mad,
W. Bush.
huh?
Yeah,
He
George
been
H.W. Bush doctor.
kids.
Say that again. You went out.
I say, dude, mad at the doctor. So there's a doctor who's a heart surgeon.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
He been so allegedly the way the news is reported, dude done had a grudge against this man for 20 years.
Hmm.
So he waited, you know what I'm saying, knocked
They
the
say
man.
they say the doctor botched the guy's mom's surgery.
Exactly. I looked at both those pictures. They don't look like me.
It don't. It usually don't.
I looked at Sandy Hook, Columbine.
Hmm.
I can keep going.
Hmm.
The movie theater down there in right next to Galveston,
Hmm.
Orlando nightclub. Come on,
Hmm.
man. The church. All these dudes are walking and talking and able to have their day in court. I mean, I even go deeper into my profession. You got dude at Stanford. He had. I take that back. He wasn't even at Stanford yet. He was slated to go to Stanford.
Yeah.
Sexually assaulted a girl on tape. Girl
Yeah.
out. He carrying the girl.
Yeah.
The judge say he think that doing anything to this young man is going to be detrimental to his future, so he gonna give him probation.
Yeah.
Dude in Georgia, top prospect linebacker in football, gets accused.
Mm-hmm.
No video,
Mm-hmm.
no evidence. Accused. Dude go to jail. Now, granted, 2 different states. I get it.
Same country.
Same country. So you mean to tell me it's not detrimental to his future?
I mean, it's been detrimental to a lot of people's future. I mean, again, the irony in this is, I think, when I think about the question and I think about what we've said, I think the irony in this is that it furthers the point that you made, that we need a definition for it.
Right, right.
Because, you know, as I'm listening to you talk, I hear what you're saying, but I guess if I relate it back to the question, the actions of those idiots wouldn't stop me from dating their sister.
You feel me?
You know, and I guess that's the part of it that I think, this is a country, of very few that actually, continues to categorize us by our skin color.
Oh yeah, most
And
definitely.
that is something that doesn't happen, again, across the world, across the globe. If it weren't for what America has done, um, people probably wouldn't even know the difference across the globe. In all honesty, I've said before, you're not a black, you're not a black Englander, you're just English.
Right, right.
Not a black Canadian, you're just Canadian. So, um, I think when you put all those things together, I'd say there should be some advantages to dating outside your race. Or let me rephrase that: if you're going to date outside your race, find somebody that gives you an advantage. You know, I mean, at the very
Nope.
least, I look at the fact that, um, you think about players, you think about athletes, you think about politicians, you think about public figures. Some people who have the biracial um, title, I guess, the people who are biracial,
Hmm?
there's some success that comes for those people, but they also uh, receive some of the strife of it too. You
Yeah,
know,
they
again, if you if
true.
you if you're biracial and you in the car with me and Donnie P and we get all pulled over, your ass black.
You are today.
You are today. That's just what it is. So, if I'm dating a white chick and we get pulled over tonight, baby, don't act like a nigga. It's all I can tell you, because I'm not going to. I'm gonna go ahead and do whatever I got to do to comply in this traffic stop and make it home safely. And as I'm fucking the shit out of my white wife, I'll be saying fuck the cops at the same time. So I don't
But
know.
what I will say is, even on this topic of dating, whether it's pro black or not, I think I want to get back to the where, because Mark had said something about get back to black families. I'm trying to
Yep.
get back
What's
where,
that?
huh?
What's
No, he
that?
said there's
No, I said what's a black family?
the same thing
Yeah.
you and
Uh,
I grew up with,
yeah, man. But
and
according
what
to
I
certain circles, they don't
back
exist.
where men are in the picture still.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's too many people that I know that have men that are fathers.
Mm-hmm.
I take that back. Men that have children they're not being fathers. You know what I'm saying? Like I get the whole selfishness of the two people who made the child, but the child didn't ask to be here. So what's wrong with just being responsible and doing your part. You don't have to be with the lady. Trust me, I get it. Sometimes they make you they run you ragged. You want to pull your hair out. She giving you the blues. I get it. Still, at the end of the day, there's a seed that needs to be taken care of. That child is graduating. You need to be there. If that child has a play, you need to be there. If that child is competing in any way, shape, form, or fashion, you need to be the first one there. Be in the front. Whether they writing a poem or reciting Socrates, I don't care what it is. You as a man need to be there. Whether you have a boy or don't give me that single mother household. It's a girl. She's supposed to be with her mama. No, don't give me that. A woman can raise a man, just raise a young man just as well as she can raise. No, man, do your part. That's all I'm saying. Get back to where you're involved, in the men are involved, because let's be honest. How many times are we looking at the TV for entertainment and all our players? To me, with the exception of the greatest basketball player of all time, Michael Jordan, who talks about their pops? Shaq. Shaq talk about his stepdad. He don't talk about his real dad. He talk about his stepdad.
He talk about his real dad too. It ain't that flattering. Phil is my father because my biological didn't bother. I'm just saying.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's too many. It's too many. I don't even know how I even got to going this way, but you can't say nothing about LeBron right now, bro.
I mean,
I'm
not going to.
Dude showing you and your children a great example of an African American male or American male, however you want to categorize him, and a pillar of society, as well as a model citizen. Forget the basketball. We talking about just being a human being. Dude out there, I see him more intense watching his son play than when he played. And boy put up 50 in game one. Let's not get it twisted with a triple double.
Yeah.
I can't wait till this Undisputed come on. Shout out to the network that's gonna put that on, because Plain Talk Propaganda will be next. We know y'all gonna come holler at us.
Come holler at us. I mean, I'm gonna put it like this. I think that's a great. We'll use that as a pivot, because we could talk about one of the things that was submitted anyway was LeBron's new school. I do want to put a cap on that first conversation. In all seriousness, at least Marcus, appreciate you asking that question. From at least from my perspective, I think Don P said the same thing. The answer to the question is no. I do think we definitely need to continue to push our cause. I think that we need to understand that there's a lot of disadvantages that come with being black. But again, to pivot, you're right. He is pro-black. To pivot, we don't have to be stuck or held down by those disadvantages.
Right.
There are ways to move forward. This new school he's putting out is actually a great example. I wanna point out something in that conversation that has kind of I think this would fall in line with some of the things that Mr. Petty White and Petty Pendergrass would have picked up on. So a lot of people out there jumping in saying, well, George Gervin and Jalen Rose and David Robinson, they started schools. And it's absolutely true. That's absolutely true. Nobody is taken away from those gentlemen. I had the privilege of listening to Jalen Rose. If you haven't seen it, he did on Get Up this morning. Get Up this morning. He had a speech.
Lovely.
Eloquent speech, man. And he talked about how he was proud of LeBron, how he respected the fact that LeBron did it, because yes, Jalen did it, and so did George, and so did David. But these gentlemen were not multi-world champion, finals MVPs, 4-time MVPs of their league. They weren't in the situation where they were the best player in the game at the time, hands down. And it's it's equivalent to saying, okay, Did Michael Jordan start a school? It's equivalent to saying, did Kareem Abdul-Jabbar or Magic Johnson start a school? He talked about how Muhammad Ali and Jim Brown and those gentlemen, when they spoke up, and I shared this with somebody earlier today, that's all they could do at the time was speak. Just
Right.
having the opportunity to speak was their victory. It was their trend-setting moment. LeBron set a trend. Um, I'm talking right now. If you know, I know they can't hear me, but one day they will. Somehow this is gonna happen because I'm talking right now to Tiger Woods. I'm talking to Serena Williams. I'm
Right.
talking to I'm talking to Cam Newton. You know, some of these people who have reached the pinnacle and been to the top of their games from our community. And beyond that, I'm talking to Cory Booker. You know, I'm talking to, well, Barack and Michelle. They've done something to that, but they were again they were in the presidential. They were in the White House. There's nothing that they can't do. But I'm talking to those people who come from that ordinary path of life and see the level of success that he did. I'm not saying you need to go start a school. That's just one thing that could have been done. But the point is, take from the example that we can do more.
Exactly. Exactly.
We can do more, and it doesn't always have to be about us. So I'm talking to, you know, Jay and Beyonce. I'm talking to Kanye. I mean, Kanye says he has some plan worked out there in California for something he's supposed to be doing for the arts. I hope he follows through. And
Right.
I hope he doesn't forget what made him feel that way. Because sometimes some of the things that he said recently kind of make you forget that make you feel that he's forgotten why he feels that way. But along those lines, this school thing that LeBron James did, I think is awesome for one reason and one reason only. Because he did it with the intent of making it about the children. I want to make sure that that point is clear. He did it with the intent of making it about the children.
And I
Their
think
experience.
it's so crazy how he put it together because when you say he did it for the children, he made it to where, hey, baby, oh yeah, come here, you work, peek your head in.
We on. Hey, I see Purple Creations in the house.
What's going on,
This is
Mrs. Howard?
Hey.
this is my proof right here, y'all. This right here. If
Uh-huh.
God thing, we all know that women are God's gift to the world, but if God
Yep.
made it better than a black woman, He kept it to Himself.
He kept it to himself. Amen.
Oh, that's so special.
Oh, I want to talk about you.
Yeah, you would.
Stop it, trolling B. Stop
So,
it. Stop it.
but no, the thing that I love about his school is that he got some learn, what is it called? He put something in there for parents.
Yep.
Which I think that part he thought about his mother or whatever their continued education. That's what it's called. He put a continuing education center in there for adults.
For adults, yeah, they can get their GEDs and diplomas.
Have you as an adult child at that school, I'm not gonna say you don't have an excuse. I'm just gonna say you don't have an excuse.
You don't have an excuse, and so here's the thing. Like I said, when I say he made it, you actually magnify the point. When I said that he did it with the intent of making sure it was for the children, that's the entire point. He didn't just say, okay, I'm going to keep your kids at school for longer hours. I'm going to provide everything they need to make them want to be here. I'm going to give you an incentive to be here too, because 9 times out of 10, well, actually, I think 10 times out of 10, based on the way the program is set up, if your child is here, it's probably because you, as their parent, don't have a lot of resources either.
Right.
And so, when to me, that's the power in it. And I again, that's why what I said earlier, it bugs me some of the things that we decide to be petty about.
Right.
when you have to go to a point of saying, well, somebody else did it before them, and this, he's already acknowledged that. He's acknowledged that 1,000-fold. Stop focusing. Stop trying to find a negative out of every damn thing. And that's the bigger. You know me. You know me personally enough. I despise pettiness. You know, in its truest form,
Right.
because we get it. You know, we're getting it from the top right now. You know, one of the most petty people in the world is running our country, and that has fomented into um, a negative stain that our country really doesn't deserve or can stand. And so
Col-
when you
it-
go and look at a story like this about what LeBron James did, I could care less if you don't like him as a basketball player. People know me that know I'll argue till we blue in the face about how great of a player he is. But
right.
in this scenario, I don't care.
But
You can
that's the thing that gets me. You made a comment about social justice when really it was about athletics.
mm-hmm,
You like, well, LeBron lost more finals than he won.
mm-hmm,
So Jalen Rose did a school before he did.
mm-hmm,
Like, do you hear yourself?
mm-hmm.
You talking
Jalen
about
Rose Jalen
who
Rose didn't win any finals.
you downplayed his school because he lost the game.
But
Not
here's the thing.
we talking about
Here's the
practice.
thing. Let's take it a step further though. Again, and I said Jalen Rose didn't win any finals. He played in one. But
Right.
here's the thing. It's not about what they did as athletes.
At all.
It's not about what they did as team sports. In team sports, it's about how one man can change the world. You know
Or
what
at
I'm
least
saying?
trying.
And the proof is in the pudding in that, because again, one man is changing the world from the White House. Before that, one man changed the world from the White House.
Yeah.
Now, this week, one man is attempting to just change his community and give the world an example to reference. But what we do is we say, yeah, but he not Michael Jordan. Well, you know what? Michael Jordan watched a lot of people get killed on the streets of Chicago for his shoes, and he remained definitely silent. Excuse my pronunciation.
At least
It's all about the
at,
contents of the Pepper's Cup.
at least he was
Just
silent
saying.
to the media we watched. Now I don't know if we can go back and find
Don
any.
P, he was silent.
No, I'm with you. I'm with you.
He
I'm
was
not
silent. They asked him about it
saying
in interviews, and
what
he had an opportunity to speak up, and he didn't. I know he's your favorite player, but I've
no,
seen
I
I've seen him.
don't make excuses. What I'm saying is,
I feel you.
let's just say he did one day have a conversation about it. Not saying he come out publicly and did something, but
Right.
now the way everything is now, everything's socially out there for the social media.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you going around if you gotta go do, what I'm saying, take a dump, somebody gonna follow you and record it just to get views.
This is true.
But what I will say is, I've never seen. Now maybe I'll go look for it and I might find something, but then again, it's on the internet and ain't no telling who wrote that.
Right.
Or like if I don't see video footage of him saying, well, I think this is wrong, I think this is what we need to do, anything to fix that problem, which I don't still get why people were killing for it, especially
You don't
at
get
time.
why what now?
Huh?
You say you don't get why what?
I don't get why they were killing for his shoes.
What do you mean you don't get why they were killing for his shoes?
I don't get the reason for killing.
Because it was a lot easier to kill somebody for his shoes than to go to the store and buy them.
Right, but I'm saying I don't get that. Like,
I don't either.
from a
But that's
standpoint, I understand it. I don't get it though. It's like, come on,
it's the
man.
fabric. It's the fabric of the country. It's what we did. and I say we because I'm an American. It's what we did. We put this group of individuals after we couldn't enslave them anymore and force them into labor for no pay or little to no pay. I mean, little went out of town for no pay.
Change
Once we
what?
couldn't do that, we said, well, we'll force them into a corner or into corners, and we'll make them hate each other.
So, do you think that the whole thing was based around status?
Which whole thing?
Status or the popularity that they put on the shoes made you of a certain status. So if you had,
well, no, at that time it was based on the price. That's what I'm saying. They were asking, the interviews. They were putting microphones in Michael Jordan's face and saying, "Hey, your shoes cost $100. Your shoes cost $125. Your shoes cost $140. Then they were $150, $185. Now they're up to $225. Right?
Right.
Now, different time today, that $225 is a lot more accessible now. But back then, $100 for a pair of shoes was unheard of. I will tell you this: I never owned a pair of Michael Jordans until I was 17, and that was because I was old enough to finally work for myself. My parents weren't going to pay for that. One, they got me a pair. They had to get them for the other three behind me. That's just the way it works. But the truth of the matter is,
shout out to the young lady that paid for Mr. Madison's shoes when he was in that picture.
Man, look here, Mr. Madison paid for his own shoes. I do want to put it on record. I was at Two Brothers Smoking Oak Kitchen out there in Carrington in Jamaica, and I was doing my thing, and I was saving my money, and I got my own pair of Jordans for prom. Boy, don't even know. But
and then take already owe 50 cents for the earlier.
I ain't paying 50 cents. I ain't paying 50 cents. But back at that time, man, in the early 90s, late 80s, early 90s, it's just what it was. Jordan starter jackets, you're getting shot. And the reason you were getting shot is because of the price tag on them. Today is different. Today, now we understand, 30 years later, we understand that the benefit is putting a high price tag on your product. Right? But also, we understand that because there have been advancements since that time. There have been more opportunities available to us in the last 20 years than there were in the 20 years before that, or the 20 years before that, and so on and so forth, or so back, however you want to look at it. But at that particular time, why in the hell am I going to go buy these shoes when I can go and put my gun in this fool's face and take his?
Take them.
And that was just society. That was just the mentality.
I guess that's what they mean by back in the day. But
back in the day,
this ain't back in the day. And guess what, y'all? Another high-profile coach is in trouble.
How you feel about that? I know. Let's be fair. Let's keep personal bias aside.
Okay.
As a man, former coach, how do you feel about that? In other words, it don't matter what school he coaches at. How do you feel about the situation based on what you know? Because I know where you're going with it. You go blue.
Well, first of all, you shouldn't have any players with half shirts showing running the ball. First off, that's the first mistake. Now I got to deal.
You actually have that same guy playing for your favorite football team.
Now I got
a favorite football team.
Now I got to deal with it. Secondly,
okay,
man, it's one of those things that comes with being in charge. The hard part for me right now is that here's a man that possibly has a family, loves his family, tries to do everything with his family correct. He don't beat on his wife. He don't abuse his kids. He tries to do everything he can, and he mentors other kids by being the head coach that people like.
You refer to Urban Meyer, right?
Right. Okay. Urban Meyer. You have one guy on his staff who's not really following the model because he is an individual.
Mm-hmm.
Correct? So now we're going to hold Meyer to the fire for another person's actions, but we still won't hold a man that's called the commander-in-chief accountable.
I'm the commander in chief. They're not talking about me.
Commander in Chase has always been accountable for everything that he did. That's why he.
Yes, sir.
That's why he good on any MLK Boulevard.
Yes, sir.
But
yes,
like,
sir.
I don't get that. Now, I think by me working at a university, there are levels. There are people who can handle that when you don't want to get in it. But the other part is, how can I not be in it when this might be somebody this man calls family.
Right.
So do you go with the money and the public opinion and be like, hey man, this is what's going on in this man's household, y'all take care of it and just throw your hands up? Or do you just ride it out with him and like whether you right 100% or wrong 100%, I'm with you. Is that the way you look at it? So I don't think Urban Meyer should be held responsible for anything that another person does, especially if it's not dealing directly with Ohio State University. Now, I understand that there's an image that everybody has to uphold, and Ohio State doesn't condone domestic violence, doesn't condone. Man, I work in student conduct. It's people fighting and doing that every day, and being honest, everybody ain't losing nothing. Losing nothing for, especially if you bringing a check to their university. Right now, right now a lot of coaches, they just who they just get Patino. Who else in basketball? Oh,
Arizona
coach.
What was that? Sean Miller in Arizona.
Yep.
A lot. What's some boy named Kevin Ollie?
Yeah, they sniping them. It's a lot of coaches getting sniped. Now what's Joe Pa?
Well, I mean, they killed him over another man's transgressions.
Literally,
he just died.
You know what I'm saying? It's
that
like
was happening to Bill Cosby.
Like I get like, well, he knew about it, but he didn't do it.
Yeah.
You trying to tell me that the person who knew about it is worse than the person who did it?
Well,
in some instances,
I'm gonna tell you, it's a slippery slope.
It is.
It's a slippery slope. Let's make sure we put some context on this. Urban Meyer still has his job.
He's on administrative.
He's on a paid administrative leave. I think it was a little premature for that move, considering that enough facts and details haven't come out. I made a point today with some of my friends to say, if somebody come and tell you something, I think the new protocol is go put a report on record. You just have to go. You just have to. I think when we say speak up, you just have to go speak up. Now, I think that's going to cause more problems than solutions. But it's come to a point where now, to protect yourself, you're gonna have to shit on somebody else. If you're in one of those,
right? Because the word loyalty does not exist.
It doesn't. And here's the thing. I don't think that in that scenario, loyalty should even be in question. What matters is this. Here's a dilemma for me. I know of someone who has a domestic situation and we work in the same place.
Right.
But why is it my job? Because I don't know the details of the domestic situation. I'm not an officer or an officer of the court to have, pass the final judgment on it. Why is it for me to go and tell my employer that someone else had a problem? I would think that if it was enough of a problem, then those powers that be in law enforcement would have notified them.
Because we drill our children. When you have an issue, call the police. I'm telling you, that's what we do. Because the police are going to come. They're going to be neutral to do the report, and then they can do the investigation, and then whatever comes of that, you can use that to whatever you need to do afterwards. Reading this situation right here, it seems like the lady, and I could be wrong, so don't quote me. The lady told Urban Meyer's wife that the dude is whooping on her or whatever, hitting her, abusing. He's abusing her. Let's just say
Mm-hmm.
be
Mm-hmm.
verbal. He's abusing
Mm-hmm.
her. Now, is this abuse enough to call the police? I don't know, but I would hope. I know in any corporation, in any university, everybody has, a code of ethics, a human resources department, and all that. So if you've ever violated any of those rules, that gives you your meat to either approve or deny somebody's employment. Why are we trying to go? We it's like people are circumventing the process they already have in place, which
Yep.
that's gonna get you sued.
Well, but I think that's the irony in it. For a motherfucker like me, I mean, shit, you could sue me. You can get this hat because that's about all I got. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's the problem in this whole scenario. It's such a
Well,
little.
what I'm talking about suing is the person who Ohio State is gonna get sued by Urban Meyer
I get it.
for the purpose of like the loyalty, the administrative leave. Like if you're doing an investigation, there's nothing that says you have to put somebody on administrative leave when you're doing an investigation because
Right.
that's not a type to.
That's why I said it was premature.
After reading, like it's not Title IX unless the woman is a part of the staff. I get it being a gender-based discrimination thing, but if she's not part of the staff, if she's just if she's a part of the family because she married that dude, y'all tripping.
But see,
Y'all,
here's what happens, P, and see, that's why I started this by saying it's a slippery slope. Because you know why? Because right down the road at Michigan State University,
oh man,
they that staff, the board, the president, they shooting watermelon these days. I mean, it's hard to get it out right now, but they trying because the implications and see the thing about it is this is something that existed for 30 something odd years at that university. The United States Olympic Association,
yeah,
Olympic is the committee or the association. Anyway, the United States Olympics, the people in charge of the athletes that go to the Olympics for the United States of America,
right.
they are sweating bullets right now. And so what I'm saying is, on the flip side, I do think that is premature on Ohio State's part. But if we want to look at the examples that have been set before, it was the absolute right move to make. And I only say that because if you don't learn from the past, you're gonna learn in the future. And Ohio State is a prestigious program that's had its fair share of scandals.
Yeah,
It's had its fair share of bad breaks and bad news. Urban Meyer, to me, as a man I've only seen on TV, I think he's a great leader, a great motivator, a great football coach. He's a
right.
champ.
Most definitely.
Ohio State University had to do it. That does not mean I condone it. It does not mean I agree with it, but I believe that it was the right move in this environment until there's some type of protocol, till there's some type of universal language that's going to be able to address these situations for every organization and every level in this country. At this point, you got to err on the side of caution. That man will make he'll make the same amount of money today that he made yesterday as the coach of that football team.
Yeah.
That's what paid administrative leave means. He just can't be there right now. He can't perform in those duties. I guarantee you, the staff, minus the wife beater, are well prepared to be able to continue to keep those young men on course to be ready for football season this upcoming fall.
You got
But
that.
the truth of the matter here, and it cannot be understated, is that the university had no choice, because just as easy for me it is to say they had a choice. Don Pete, the examples are there. Penn State,
And
Michigan,
for me,
Stanford, Duke.
I'm arguing that is that all of those situations dealt directly with students. All of them.
I'm not disputing that. I'm not
This
disputing that in any way.
this specific situation right here, with the exception of if that man lives in the actual campus community, man, now you can now you trying to say what goes on in my house. Like right now, if somebody's at your house doing something, let's say somebody break in, and I know what Commander Chase got over there, and something
I got the United States Chase Force over here with me.
Exactly.
You understand?
Love it, man.
That's just a public service announcement. You understand? Like, shit, I come in peace, motherfucker. We can go to war. Shit, I'm ready for war.
Well, Don P, since Chase was defending his house, we're gonna have to put you on administrative leave till we do an investigation on what's going on in Chase house. I'm like, what?
That's different though. But see, that's different. Here's why I'm gonna say it's different. Here's why I'm gonna say it's different. Because here's what happens. In that environment that they're in, she's gonna be able to say that I took it to him because I thought that he had enough power to do something about it because he was in management. And so I know that's Ohio. I don't know the rules of employment in Ohio. As a manager in the state of Texas, I know the rules. And what I'm telling you is, all I need to be able to do is prove that I gave the information to someone in a management role. And so that's why I say Ohio State had what Ohio State is doing. Again, I'm not implying that I agree or that I think that they are right. What I am saying to you is that Ohio State had to do whatever was necessary to show that we're trying from the very beginning to do this investigation correctly.
Right. And I
handle this situation in a way that doesn't cause a PR storm. Now, if Mr. Meyer decides to file suit against the school, we'd rather fight that battle than to have hundreds of protesters out on our campus with signs and cameras about our culture here, because that's not the culture we have. So what we have to do is what's right for the university. We have to protect this institution. So what we're going to do is say, Coach Meyer, stay home for a few weeks. Let us find out what happened. If you know something, let us know as early as possible. That's where the real test for Urban Meyer is going to come in. Are you going to, it's never the lie. It's always the cover up.
Moses,
are you going to try to cover up?
I give you that.
Okay. So if Urban Meyer is willing to play ball, then I think that Ohio State made the right move. I think it'll turn out right for Urban Meyer. I think it'll turn out for the young lady. And you know, I guess at the end of the day, it'll turn out right for her husband too, because again, I'm of this mindset, which matches yours. That happened at my house. And I'll deal with that the way that
that's just the first part. Like, to me, I look at it with so many different lenses. Like, do you want something to happen to him, or do you not want something to happen to him? Because to me, if someone's being physically or mentally abusive, it's something wrong with them, you know?
Well, it's also something wrong with the person that stays and takes that abuse, though.
Right. So let's put that together. Now, put on top of all that's already going on, you want this man to lose his job. Not go to jail. Because, and I'm only saying that because that's not what's reported, you know, so far in the story. The only part of the story that I knew about it, and he didn't do nothing about it. Like, it's so many other levels to me of people who deal with domestic violence other than the man at the workplace.
Right.
And part of me might be biased because I see these things happening. Like, I seen people say, well, I think you raped my daughter, so let me go to your job. I ain't gonna tell the police, but I'm gonna go to your job and make sure your job know what you're doing. I'm like, ain't nobody gonna tell the police? Because that's the first thing I'm doing. Because what I'm mandated to do. Other part is that's who handles that situation. Like, I don't go to Chase to go get no shoes because Chase don't work at Foot Locker. I go to Chase to get a haircut. I most definitely go to Chase to play Madden. I don't go to, like, I go to where things is. If I want to go get my oil change, I'm not going. Why do people do that? It's unheard of. And to me, Urban Meyer, whether he told it or not, I don't. Rocking a hard place, man. Rocking a hard place.
From I'm just gonna say this from the perspective of common sense and the everyday man, you speaking the absolute truth.
But I will agree with you earlier. You said, dang, what did you say?
Well, from the standpoint of,
you said they jumped the gun. I agree with you on that. They jumped the gun.
I think it was premature. But here's what I'm gonna say to you. At this point, premature action is better than no action or late action. And that's just been proven too many times. The bottom line is everything you said makes sense from a common sense point of view, from the everyday man's point of view, but from the society that is now that's fully embraced the Me Too environment, a society that's fully embraced the equality environment, that's fully embraced zero tolerance for domestic type of incidents. I mean, Ray Rice perpetuated that movement, and it just went forward from there. Whether it was whether it was Greg Hardy or anybody, anybody that's had this problem. The truth of the matter is that whether it's Jerry Sandusky and Joe Paterno, if it's Rick Pitino and his staff, or Sean Miller and his staff, the bottom line is these countries are these universities are making billions.
Bukus.
And what it boils down to is the power structure.
Yeah.
And the power structure is such that, Mr. Meyer, you're one of the most powerful men in this state. He's the head football coach at Ohio State University. More people in Ohio know him than they know who the governor of Ohio is. You can bet on that.
Say that again. Say that. That is a powerful statement you just made.
He's a powerful man in the state. More in Ohio State, in the state of Ohio, everybody there, I'm talking about anybody who's old enough to comprehend what's happening on TV, and I'm talking about children at 2 and 3 years old, they know who Urban Meyer is.
Yes.
Their parents making sure that they get pictures with him for their yearbooks, for their stories, for whenever they actually make it to school. That's just the bottom line. But what I am saying is this. Again, I want to make it clear. I don't think that Ohio State had to do it this early.
Right.
There was anything that compelled them to do it. But what I am going to say is, you're a powerful institution. And you know what? Sometimes with great responsibility, with great power comes great responsibility.
Most definitely it does.
And so they had to make a decision. Do we pay him to stay away until we figure out what really happened, or would you let him stay, and by the time we find out what really happened, he was worse off in the situation than the person who committed the offense?
That's crazy.
Because that has happened too.
Yeah, that's crazy though. Still crazy.
And so we've got to protect this institution. We don't know what all the facts are, and maybe they do. And if they do, that makes it worse on them.
Yes. I guess, and then just reading the little bit that I did, the situation that they're discussing happened in 2016. So that's the part for me.
The thing about it is, I have friends, we have family, you have friends, people that are in the coaching profession, people that are in positions of power. I guess the truth of the matter is, at this point, if we want to just speak plain talk, if you see something, you got to say something.
See something, say something. Because when they say it about you, you're going to pay the piper.
We're going to see you. We're gonna see you on the headlines. We're gonna see you on the TV. We're gonna see you at the at the microphone giving this shameful speech about what you should have done or should have done. So it's a slippery slope, Don P. I actually agree with all the things that you said because they make 100%, sense to me.
Yes.
I feel the same way. I think that if in the court of public opinion, I think the school is gonna win today. Now that's just today. We got to find out what else happens. If we find out that the school knew about this, if we find out that Coach Meyer had already made the necessary reports to the necessary people and they slid it under the rug, Urban Meyer is exonerated. He comes out even the email. He might be the new AD, the new president of the school.
Tiny soup,
football coach. He may be the new governor of Ohio.
right? I bet governor of Ohio.
I'm just saying, the thing about it is, it's a slippery slope. It's you damned if you do and you damned if you don't. You come to me and you tell me about some stuff that happened at your house, and now I lose my job or my job is in jeopardy because I kept it at your house.
Yeah, that's
It's
tough.
a slippery slope. It's a slippery slope. But I will say this: all of that is a product of how quickly information circulates now. That's what it boils down to. We'll know real soon what Urban Meyer knew, who he told, who he didn't tell, what he didn't know. We'll know it all soon. What the university knew, we'll know it all soon.
Huh.
Bottom line.
Love it, man.
Man, it's a crazy mixed up world.
Dog eat dog.
Yes, sir.
Commander Chase.
Yes, sir.
Episode 7.
I enjoyed it.
I'm loving it.
We took topics.
Or we gonna let them live?
You say what's that?
I said we got one more topic, or we gonna let them live?
You know what? Let's do it real quick because I did promise we was gonna talk about it. I think it's actually a good closing topic, especially based on what we talked about today and the arguments that we both presented. Blake Griffin.
Hello, world.
Was ordered to pay child support today.
He had to what now?
He was ordered to pay child support today.
Okay.
To the tune of $3 million a year, essentially.
What? How old is the child?
$258,000 a month. Children, two children. I'm gonna pull it up real quick here. I think one of the kids' name is Ford. It's a 5-year-old and a 2-year-old. His ex basically took him. His Ford is 5, Finn is 2, and his ex, her name is Cameron. She played ball at USC. I'm getting her like Bryn Cameron.
Yeah, I'm looking at it.
Okay, so here's the thing. The judge said $258 million. Blake and his attorneys tried to say he was worth about $2-3 million a year. The judge say, I think you're worth more like $35 million a year with all your endorsements and this new contract you got to play for the Detroit basketball Pistons.
Basketball.
So according to this report, and again, this is all a report. This is not my reporting. I wasn't there. But this is what I read on the internet where everything is true.
$258,000.
$250,000 a month, P. That's about $3 million a year. $1 million every quarter. Yeah, $3 million a year. I'm sorry, $1 million every 3 months. So, well, let me get that straight. Let me do my math. 250 times 4. Yeah, so every quarter, $1 million a quarter, 4 quarters. Damn, that's down there $4 million a year. That's over 4 more because you add an 8 on every quarter or every month. Damn, she getting paid. She getting paid. My fuzzy math tell me she getting paid. All right. Shout out George Bush. He spoke at my graduation, so if it was good enough for him, it's good enough for me. Let me ask you a question, sir.
Yes, sir.
Do the children need that money?
Hell no, I don't need all that.
Do the children need that much money?
Man, hell, don't know.
Okay.
First off,
final question. Hold on. I know you're jumping at the business. I just want to ask one more question. I just want to ask one more question.
Yes.
How much of that money will the children actually see?
Man,
Your turn.
first off, talking to you, none of it. They gonna reap the benefits, but they're not gonna have it in their hand and spend every dime the way they want to spend every dime. So
is it really child support?
Like it kills me when people say, like I was reading the thing about D Wade and his wife, and
Oh man.
And then I read a
But
little bit.
D Wade came out good though. D Wade won this case.
The part where they put in there, he left me homeless. How? You grown.
You know what?
You grown. Ain't nothing promised in this.
Bren said the same thing though.
But that's what I'm saying. He left me. How somebody leave you homeless?
Well, she said there was an oral agreement that he broke, that he convinced her to stop pursuing her own career to stay home and take care of the kids.
Okay, I got food stamped on my head too.
Well, that argument comes up in civil court a little later.
Which is so, man, they kill me, man. Like, dude, you grown. If you can't get up, I can't put all my eggs in one basket and hope somebody gonna take care of me. Man, you got people that get paid to take care of people that don't even do a good job.
Well, before she was with him, she was with Matt Leinart. So I'm just kind of thinking that she probably could get a new man if she wanted a new man.
She need to get a new job. Or she need to get her
For some
own
women,
job.
that is their job. It's finding a good man.
Man,
I hope I'm proud. Look, you already was gonna get crucified. I guess I'll get crucified with you.
Troy, if anybody going to try to just get that paycheck and you don't get it, man, shame on you.
Well, here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. You know, the judge made the call. The judge made the call.
And whoever the judge is a sucker too. Sucker.
I just know that in this country, I mean, the irony is we were talking earlier about how, you didn't call the police in your domestic situation. You know who the child support office is filled up with the most? Police officers. All of them down there. The men in blue, they be the men in the child support office. So, I guess the point I'm making with this is that I'm having a hard time understanding why the point has to be proven on his pockets, but more importantly, why is it so unfairly balanced against the male? Because, and this is, this is probably going to be a little controversial when I say it, but I hope people will hear this with an open mind. You fight for equal rights. You fight for equal liberties. You fight for equal pay.
3.
But then you drag the man to court because it didn't work out between you and him. And what the court says is, you know what?
Like, do we really think Blake not gonna take care of his kids?
Well, that's the point I'm making. That's what I'm trying to get to. The court says, you know what? You poor thing. We'll grant you 75% of everything he worked hard for. This is a literal case of, bitch, you wasn't with me shooting in the gym. Although she may have been, because she's a basketball player. Even Division I basketball player. So maybe she was in the gym shooting with him. But I guarantee you, I don't believe, honestly, that she needs $258,000 a month to take care of him. She's living in a home that he provided for them. She said he left her homeless, yet her registered address is a home that he pays for.
Let me ask you this. Because you said can we agree that getting an education is something that's important?
Absolutely.
Okay. You can go to any college you want to. It might work out, it might not. Do we get our money back?
No. If we do, I need to get somebody point me to that line so I can be first, and that's something I'm willing to fight over.
We talking about a relationship that first off, you was out there in that California and you let him look at them Jenners. They say the boy dating one of the Jenners. He might be dating.
No, he moved on from her. He
But
left this chick. He left Brian to date one of the Jenners, and now
right,
he's moved on to another chick.
right. But what I'm saying is he might have been dating a man, didn't even know it anyway. So
Ain't that something? Damn.
hey man, I just call a spade a spade. I don't call it a
Hey
club.
man, it's plain talk propaganda. We're gonna tell the truth.
So you mean to tell me somebody in the court system believe that this man would not take care of his kids? He
Yes. Yes.
he has the financial means to put them with anyone.
I'm gonna tell you the honest truth. This is me speaking for myself. I can't speak for anybody else.
Right.
One of the reasons that I've never been ecstatic about having children is because one day she can say, you know what, I don't feel you no more. And since I don't feel you no more, I'm leaving with the kids. And you know what? There's nobody I can go to, because I can go to the court and tell them, Your Honor, she's on crack. She has 4 different men at the house every night. I can tell them she doesn't have a job. And what the court is going to say is they need to be with their mother. No matter how much money I have, no matter how much influence, wealth, or power I have, they're going to side with her. But beyond that, if I have more money, wealth, and influence and power, then they're going to side with her even more by saying, all you need to do is shuffle over a portion of your money, power, wealth, and influence to her, and then she'll be fine. The kids will be fine.
Which is what, and don't get me wrong, like women who use child support for what it is for, like, hey man, I'm trying to pay daycare. I'm trying to, get school supplies. I'm getting school clothes. Like, I get all of that. There is no school, public, elementary, where you need $3 million to go in no part of America.
But that's the whole point. It ain't about just a school. It's about that I got to look the part when I take them to school. I can't drive up in a jalopy. I can't drop them off in an O2 Corolla.
So you mean you can't get public transportation? You went to college?
No, I can't. Not to this. Now I can't drop them off at this private school and from the VIA, from the Metro, from what I'm saying, from the RTA.
And then again, that's the other part. So you mean to tell me that Blake cannot just pay the school directly without having to give her $3 million?
Well, that's the point. I was actually going there. I just never got to get to that point. That's why I said I have this fear, because at least I can speak for myself again.
Right.
Man, the point was made earlier, go file child support on yourself. I also said I've recommended to others to do that. I've recommended that to others because they weren't educated enough to do that on their own. So as a friend, I said you should do this to protect yourself.
Right.
Some took the advice and some didn't. The ones that took the advice still have smiles on their face. Here's what I'm saying with all of that. Because you and I don't work out, should not be means for you to go down to some courthouse and defame my name, drag me in and out for this legal. I've been I can guarantee you this. If there's a child that's my name, I'm telling you the honest truth. When I say I have a fear of having children because they can take them away, it's not because of the child support system. It's because I want to be in my child's life every day of my life. I want their mother to be in their life every day of their life, just like I had, just like you had.
Right.
I don't want to get into a situation with you where we have a child and now we don't get along. We shouldn't have a child. And I'm more comfortable with that decision than I am with having to go down here now and have you call out every little flaw that you know about me to this judge, keeping in mind that they're a judge, so that's what they're going to do, judge me. and then they're going to equate their judgment to how much of my pockets should be cut short to head to your household. Meanwhile, you're now at your separate household with a whole other man or men.
And come
And
on.
I can't go back to court and say, well, now, Your Honor, she's dating Tiger Woods. He makes more money than me.
Them ain't your
Why?
kids.
Okay, well, again, here's what you know what? We always propose new ideas, new progressive ideas.
We gonna start.
Maybe this is what needs to be done.
Talk to him. Commander in Chase.
What if instead of this child support system that directs the money directly to the mother, like you said, why don't we set up accounts for these children that the fathers can actually deposit the money to? And then when the money needs to come out of that account, the mother needs to provide legitimate reasons and receipts on what that money is going to. In other words, if you tell me I need to pay $258,000 a month, I'll do it gleefully. As long as that money is going directly to my children. As long as it's going directly to an account in my children's name, and every withdrawal from it has a receipt that corresponds to it being a direct benefit for the child. How many women, how many men, I'm not going to be biased, how many people would take their significant other to child support court then? How much more fair would the child support system be then? Because you know what? If I had the means, which Blake Griffin has, to pay $258,000 a month, if I know that it's going to my children, I don't have no beef with that. But I can guarantee you 9 out of every 10 men that's stuck in that system, I shouldn't say stuck, they put themselves there.
They did.
9 out of every 10 men that's in that child support system, they're not beefing because of the amount. They're beefing because of the beneficiary.
All I know is I've never seen a 1 through 12-year-old drive a Range Rover.
You ain't going to.
In America.
You ain't going to. And that's the whole thing about it. You know, to me, it's like you're penalized for becoming successful.
Yeah, so
you're
that's
penalized for becoming successful and having children. And I think that's a terrible way. That's one to me. If we want to talk, you know, if our president and our congressmen and women and our judicial court system want to have some real debates, want to make some real reform, why don't you start there? Why don't you change this messed up child support system to make it an actual beneficial child support system to the favor of the children? Because it's never been to the favor of the children. It's always been to the favor of the children's mother. Well, what more did she do than their father to have them here?
Yes. All I know is my support system is great.
Yours and mine too. And by the way, to those women out there on child support that are doing it the right way, women not on child support, their children, women who have had to file child support and for the benefits of child support, and you're doing it the right way, and you're taking care of your children with that, and you're still out there getting your own and doing your own thing, I salute you. This was in no way intended to disrespect women or make it that women are the only ones taking advantage of the child support system.
Because they're not.
The examples are more visible that way, i.e. this conversation, you know, this story about Blake Griffin today. But I just think that it's a bad example to set, because if you teach the mothers to do it, the mothers teach their children to do it, and you have a vicious cycle of these women who go out and they seek these powerful, wealthy, influential men with money.
Dumb.
And they lay up with them, and then they find out that he ain't got as much, so they say, well, he raped me, or he was violent to me, or they say, I don't like him no more, and I've been in here long enough to be able to put him on child support for the next 25, 27 years.
And that's crazy.
I just think it's wrong.
That's crazy.
Especially when she leave the courthouse and go strip in the club later tonight on Instagram.
I know we're not going to keep harping on this point. My thing is, I don't get the part where somebody leaves you homeless. First off, he dating a Jenner. He's dating Kardashian or whatever you want to call it. They are always being filmed or recorded or camera taking pictures of them all the time. So if he's with her or if he's been with her, you already know. First off, you already know.
Mm-hmm.
Secondly, I don't know anybody that has been with their significant other that has convinced you not to work, to stay home with the kids, where you don't have access to money already.
All the time.
So why don't you? Because you're not stealing.
Save some of it up. Just save some of it for yourself for a rainy day.
Just take it.
He gave you 50 stacks. Don't take all 50 of them. Take 10 and put 40 away.
Or quit buying purses. Go get you a
That's
crib.
the point I'm making. That's the point I'm making. That's the point I'm making. Instead of buying $50,000 in purses, buy $10,000 in purses or whatever else you want. But put the other 40 up in case something happens. But I just think that
in the event that you, because I mean, I don't know Blake Griffin's sexuality, but from the readings, he like women. So you got all this high profile, high dollar stuff that women have. Pawn shop. It's ways to go get
start
money.
an online store with all that stuff.
Or you can go out there with them kids that's selling water. Sell something.
Sell something.
Don't is he left me? Ain't nobody left you nothing, man. You.
I hope that when I'm gonna post this up. I'm gonna post this up real quick to the SoundCloud. I hope that when people hear this, I really want to hear from some women about this. Men too, fellas too. I think it's wrong. I think it's wrong.
It's stories like this that make the Houston lingo popular. Boppers, gold, all it. Like that's what they talking about. But I'm Troy LMB, man. So I'm cool with it. Blake,
man,
quit
like
having you ain't gonna stay with, brother.
You know what? Let me take a sharp turn real quick. I know we about to close out, but on that subject, I will say this to my brothers: Black, white, Asian, Hispanic, Native American, Middle Eastern, wherever you from.
Aliens too. Listen up.
If you get her pregnant, you got her pregnant.
Word.
Step up. You could make the decision not to go for her advances. You could make the decision not to cheat on your girl that you already have or wife that you already have. You could make the decision to say, you know what? I value my life and my well-being more than I do this one night that's going to, essentially turn into a lifelong argument over a child who's innocent in the scenario and will feel that stress and feel that strain and feel that pain of that situation that you created. So this is not me railing on women taking advantage of the child support system or the men who either. But this is me saying you could avoid the situation altogether.
You really can.
Strap up, say no.
Yes.
Go home.
Yes.
Remember you got a wife.
Yes.
Whatever you got to do to secure the bag.
Yes.
Because once she get her hands in the bag,
it's gone.
Ain't never taking them out.
Hey, because I seen the Hamburglar. Boy, stay robbing.
Hey, he be ready.
Be ready.
He be ready.
Commander Face. Hey, I do have to give a shout out. My God, Miss Shalandra Henderson, happy birthday. I love you.
Happy B-Day. No doubt. No doubt. No doubt. I feel that.
Commander Chase.
Leader of the United States Chase Force. Endorsed by President Donald Trump. Sue me. Huh?
Episode 7.
Episode 7. I loved it. I loved it. All user generated content. Shout out to everybody that listened in, all the people that sent in topics, Reggie, Marcus. Yeah, I think that we still today. But I see
check the podcast out.
Yeah.
Give feedback. Give us
please.
You know what I'm saying? We love the feedback. We trying to go worldwide. Not
yes,
nation,
sir.
Worldwide.
Yes, sir. Of the world, Craig. But we'll start right here in our community. Shout out Mr. James and every other man, woman, and human being that's out here deciding to do something better for their communities. with the hopes of influencing the world.
Shout out to
we doing the same thing right here.
my other mama been watching the whole time. Some people know her as Joan. We call her Tinker. Love you, mama.
No doubt. I see the comments. Definitely appreciate it. Man, I enjoyed it, man.
Yes, sir.
Let's do it again soon. You headed OC, so enjoy yourself. Be safe. You know what I'm saying?
I'm finna go see what that other MLK Boulevard look like.
Oh man. Man, hey, enjoy yourself.
Already.
Your head on the swivel.
Plain Talk Propaganda.
PTP.
Episode 7.
Yes, sir. We out. Yeah.
Hello. Hey.
DJ Don P. Till next time. We out.
We out.